This is the sixth chapter of the book Vistas, and it's a play. And this play is about the friendship between an old man and a young boy. This young boy is very withdrawn, introvert, whereas old man is very sociable. Both of them have some physical impairment. One is lame, and the other person is having scarred face. Both of them have impairment, but the outlook of theirs towards life is totally different. The old man had a positive outlook towards life, whereas this young boy with the scarred face had become very withdrawn and pessimistic. So, this play brings out the idea that the people who are handicapped or physical impairment of some kind suffer from a sense of loneliness. And it's a mental agony which they suffer from more than the physical impairment. It also talks about how appearances are deceptive and sometimes they appear to be very ugly, but the nature they have got that means a lot. He's lamb, but he's a very sociable. He wants to live the life to the fullest extent. He loves nature, he loves children, and everybody is welcome to his house. So we learn that appearances are deceptive. And most often we go on dealing with impressions and prejudices about others without caring to know about them actually. So let's continue this play On the Face of It, written by the British writer Susan Hill. Now, Derry is questioning and he's getting confused. Now, Derry talks about the strangers. How can they be friends? Then Mr. Lamb says, how can they be enemies? So when this talk is going on between Derry and Mr. Lamb, Derry finds it quite strange, quite peculiar, and he is interested to talk to Mr. Lamb. And then Derry comes out with a question, how do you make all that out? That how the people who have got the handicaps should be together. How the things are the same or yet they are different. How is all that? Then Mr. Lamb explains, it's a watching, listening, thinking. That is what is the environment. Our habits of watching, listening and thinking differently made us different from each other. How we watch, what all we listen, what all we think, that is what makes the difference. It's the environment that makes the difference. And that is how our nature becomes. That is how we start behaving. So we all think differently because we watch different things, we listen different things, and we think differently. I would like a place like this. I love, so he starts liking this place. A garden, I would like a house with no curtains. I want a house with no curtains. Then Mr. Lamb says, the gate is always open. Why you think that this house is somebody else's house? But this isn't mine. Everything is yours if you want it. What's mine is anybody's. Just think over that. It may be your friend's house. And you may find yourselves very, very comfortable. You are here in the school. You belong to a particular house. If you think that that house is like your own house, it's a heaven, it becomes. But the moment you think that, no, it is not my house, you don't feel the belongingness to that. how your thinking becomes. So here Mr. Lamb says everything is yours. It is not that it's a label there. Everything is yours if you want it. If you think that it's yours, yes, it's yours. What's mine is anybody's. The whole campus belongs to you. You think like that, then really you become the owner of the whole campus. You can make use of it. All the facilities that are available here in the campus, you can make use of it. You are the owner of this house. What's mine is anybody's. It's the same thing. So beautifully Mr. Lamb explains. It is not that you have a house and it belongs to you alone. So they again says, so I could come here again. If you wait out, I could come here. So I can come over here. Even if you're out, it doesn't matter. Islam certainly, surely. And remember here, this gate is open. The doors are open, no curtains. You might find others here. Of course, you might find even other children here. Doesn't matter. Well, that needn't stop you. You needn't mind. And even if others are there, you need not worry about that. You don't mind. You can always come, play whatever you like. You can do all that. It would stop them. They would mind me. Again, he starts thinking about his scar face. They will not come here. When they saw me here, they look at my face and run. And if they see me here, they will look at my face and they will start running. A very interesting conversation is going on between Mr. Lamb and Derry. Now here, Derry said that he liked Mr. Lamb's house and garden. And then, what was Mr. Lamb's reply? He said, Derry was always welcome. The gate was always open. And then he said that all his possessions were meant for everyone. It didn't mean that it was his own alone. And Derry asked if he could visit the place again, and Mr. Lamb replied, he might find even other children too, and he might get company. And then Derry asked, they might run away after looking at him. They might go away. So probably they may not like when he enters. They might not. They might go away. They might not. They might become friends. You would have to take the risk, but you have to take the risk. So would they? They will also take the risk. No, you would. You might have me and lose all your other friends because nobody wants to stay near me if they can help it. You might have me and lose all. You should be ready to lose all your friends. And Mr. Lamb says, I am not moved. No. When I go down the street, no one. How is it? I will not change, he says. When I go down the street, the kids shout, lay me lamb. When I go down, the kids keep on teasing me. They call me lay me lamb. They keep on calling me lay me lamb. But they still come into the garden, into my house. It's a game. They play a game. They are not afraid of me. Why should they be? Because I am not afraid of them. That's why not. So you shouldn't be afraid of them. They will not be afraid of you. Did you get your leg blown off in the war? Is it that your leg is blown off during the war? Certainly. How will you climb on a ladder and get the crab apples down? When you are lame, how can you climb on a ladder? How can you get those crab apples? Oh, there's a lot of things I have learned to do and plenty of time for it. Years. I take it steady. I do it steadily. So Derry is questioning now. If you fail and broke your neck, so he's showing concern. You could lie on the grass and die if you were on your own. So if you're all alone and if you fall there, break your neck, you'll be lying there on the grass and you will die. Now here Mr. Lamb says, I may fall down and then I'll be all alone. It might happen. You said I could help you. And you mean that I can help you? If you fall down, if you want to, yes. If you want to help me, yes, you can do that. But my mother will want to know where I am. My mother probably she wants to know where I am. It's 3 miles home and the distance is nearly 3 miles across the fields. I am 14, but they still want to know where I am. But still, though I am grown up, still they want to know. And then Mr. Lamb says, people worry. So there are a lot of worries. People have got the habit of worrying. Then Jerry says, people first unnecessarily they worry. Then Mr. Lamb says, go back and tell them, tell where you are. It's 3 miles. It's a fine evening. You got legs. There's no problem. You can walk because 3 miles you got legs. Once I got home, they would never let me come back. They would never allow me to come back. Once you got home, you would never let yourself come back. It's you who will think about not coming back, not your parents. It's you who should decide about that, not your parents. Once you got home, you would never let yourself come back. You don't know. You don't know what I could do. You don't know what I could do. So here, now Derry feels challenged. And he says, once he goes home, he will not be allowed. Then Mr. Lamb says, no, it's a Derry himself who won't like to come back. And Derry said that Mr. Lamb did not know what all he could do. And then Mr. Lamb said that only Derry knew what he could do. No, only you know that. If I choose, then see, there's a kind of argument. If you choose, I don't know everything, boy. I can't tell you what to do. It's not that he can tell something. It's he who should decide all that. It's he who has to make a choice about that. They tell me, they force me to do the things. Do you have to agree? You have to agree to all that, whatever they tell. You are a grown up boy now, 14 years old. Can't you take decisions? I don't know what I want. I myself don't know. I want something no one else has got, or ever will I. Something just mine, like this garden. I don't know what it is. And here Derry is confused about what he wanted. Something that was only his, probably a garden like this. You could find out. You find out. How? Waiting. So here, Mr. Lamb says waiting, watching. So how can he find out what he likes? How can he take the decisions on his own? Listening, sitting here or going there, I will have to see to the bees. See here, you watch, you listen, you think over it, and then you'll be able to find. Those other people who come here, do they talk to you, ask you things? All those who come here, the children and all, they talk to you like me. They keep on asking you the way I keep on asking you. Some do, some don't. Some are like this, some are of different kind. I ask them, I like to learn. If they don't ask, I will ask. I like to learn. I don't believe in them. I don't think anybody ever comes. Nowadays he says, I don't believe. I don't think anybody ever comes. I don't think that anybody really comes over here. You are here all by yourself. You are all alone here and miserable. And you are always in very bad condition. I don't think anybody comes over here. Nobody talks to you. And no one would know if you are alive or dead. And nobody cares. Nobody cares for you. Nobody will think whether you are alive or dead. You'll fall down here and you will die here. You think what you please. You're all left to think how you please. It's your choice. You think how you like to think. There is not sure whether really the friends or really the kids come over there to the garden. Then there is asking, all right then, tell me some of their names. So he wants to find out the names of those visitors. And then Mr. Lamb said that, what are names? Names are nothing. What are names? Names don't matter. The personality matters. Tom, Dick or Harry. You want names? Tom, Dick or Harry? So many names. I am off down to the beach. Okay, forget about all that. Let me go. Listen to the humming of the bees. Some say bees buds. But he says, let me go down and listen to the songs of the bees singing. I think you are daft, crazy. You are stupid, crazy. That's a good excuse. What for? You don't talk sense. So you don't make sense. You do what you are telling. I don't understand. Good excuse not to come back. So you don't want to come back. And that's why you are saying that nobody comes over here. You've got a burned up face. You've got a scarred face. And that's other people's excuse. And other people think like that. That's the excuse of other people. So you are thinking that other people don't come and you feel that you've got a burned face. You're obsessed with your face and that's why you don't want to come over here. You are like the others. You are also like other people who hate. You like to say things like that. You want to say like things like that. You are also behaving like other people. You don't feel sorry for my face. You don't feel bad about my face. You are frightened of it. You are really frightened of it. You are scared of my face. You are not frightened. You think I am ugly as a devil. I am a devil, don't you? Shouting. Mr. Lamb does not reply. He has gone to his bees quietly. No, you don't. I like it here. I like this garden. There he gets up, shouts. I am going. I'll come back. You see? You wait. I can run. I haven't got a tin leg. I don't have a tin leg. I'll be back. I'll run. He says, no lamb eats it. You've got legs. But I have got a tin leg. I can't run like you. You can always go and come back. You can go and inform your parents and come back. Then he runs off. There's a silence. The sounds of the garden again. So what has happened? Dairy ran off. The place was silent with the sounds of the creatures that were there in the garden. Mr. Lamb, now here, talking to the bees. And Mr. Lamb is talking to himself. And with whom he is talking? Now Dairy has left him. He has gone. And Mr. Lamb is all alone, feeling very lonely. And to whom? They're my dears. Whom is he saying? He's talking to himself. They're my dears. That's you seen too. Ah, you know. That I know. We all know. I'll come back. So he's talking to himself. Is he mad? Why is he feeling like that? He needs company. He was somebody. And that's why he says to Dairy that this house, this garden, think that it's yours. They never do though. They go. They never come back. They say, I'll come back, but they never come back. Not them. Never do come back. How's he feeling? Those who lead all alone the life, probably they might be feeling. They might be earning to someone else's company. And here, there's a picture that speaks a lot. We have to move on to the second scene and third scene. But what does this picture tell us? There's a ladder, somebody has fallen down. Who is that fallen down? That old man. And the garden noises fade, so fading of that end of the first scene. From the ladder, somebody has fallen down there. Is he dead? Is he alive? And there's a young boy. Is he trying to take care? Has he come back? There he has come back. I want you to think over it till we see in the last part there are going to be two more scenes, scene 2 and scene 3, and both the scenes we'll see in the next session. Thank you. Goodbye.